Hey friends, it's Chris and it's been a while. I know I've been MIA again and I took some time off from posting content because I've been really experiencing a lot of changes in my life and it's all for the better. And with the recent change of job that I have and actually reaching my dream job right now where I am is a lot of pressure, but at the same time, it took some time to adjust and focus on work that I let my art sort of flounder. But there was this one workmate that I had that actually just inspired this entire project that I have, and it all started with my friend just simply calling me cute. And I don't know if you guys receive much compliment, but honestly, I don't. I don't get much compliments from people, particularly straight guys, regarding how I look, and I it just bolsters some feelings of self confidence after being called cute. I know I'm just blabbering on, but because of that, I managed to start a project which is now drawing my workmates for 2 weeks, and I'll be sharing to you the 14, maybe 15 portraits that I've accomplished and the different things that I've learned along the way as I continue to work on this project. So I'm gonna bring you now to the table and we're gonna see the different contents of this journal. Alright, so before I give you a flip through of my journal, I'm just going to show to you the different materials that I've used along the way while I tackle this project. Some of the things that I've majorly used are these tracing papers from Duder. I have this Magello white class gouache, and I partnered that with this synthetic brush. It's just a flat brush, a small one to work on some of my borders and details. I have here also the pens from Tombow. These are calligraphy brushes, if I'm not mistaken. And then I've primarily used one brush, but I supplemented it with this other brush. So you know this affordable brush that I told you about and I really advocate about. I don't know the brand, but you guys don't underestimate those affordable watercolor brushes that you see online because they can actually work wonders. And to supplement that, I have here now another affordable brush that I've found online. This is, yeah, a red sable brush from this company right here. It's pretty nice. It does the job. And then this is the palette that I've worked with, my ever reliable travel palette, and it consists of these colors mainly. Um, you have here now nickel azo yellow, French ochre, quinacridone gold, Aussie red gold, burnt sienna, lunar red rock, I believe, English red or Venetian red. I think it's English red. You have here now a Rubin by Magello Mission Gold, a quinacridone rose, I believe, and an alizarin crimson. These are those colors that I mainly focus on with the skin tones, and then supplemented by different cool tones: rose of ultramarine, moon glow, um, imperial purple, I believe, or dioxazine violet, cobalt blue. Yes, cobalt blue, and then this is French ultramarine. I think it's just plain ultramarine, indigo, um, cobalt turquoise or cobalt teal. The one by Senilia made of PG50. You have here now some. Oh, this is a phthalo green, and then you have here now two custom mixes that I've done, which is basically trying to imitate Paints Gray and a mixture of Ivory Black and Lunar Black by Daniel Smith. To help me with my sketches, I made use of several pencils, and I'm just reaching out to my pencil drawer because I was not particular with the pencil that I was using during that time. As long as it works with the transfer sheet, I've used several of this one. But I believe that for the transfers, I mostly use this pen. Still, I believe this pencil. This two graph wood by Caran d'Ache. So yeah, there's that. Now, the journal that I worked with is a pretty small-ish journal from Tokyo Finds. I think I've demonstrated this one, or not really demonstrated. I've shown this in a haul video. It's just a simple 4 by 6 sketchbook made of the typical watercolor papers that Tokyo Finds use. So, the first drawing that started all of this is this drawing right here. Now, this is the workmate, an awesome workmate by the name of Elijah. He kickstarted this project by being one of those workmates that made my day once, and I drew him and then decided to paint him, and I gave him this portrait just as a show of gratitude. And since then, I've started to painted my workmates, and I started, of course, with a self-portrait of myself. This is how I looked like, or I believe the reference photo that I took when I was pretty new and still dazed from all the changes that's been happening recently since I moved job. And this portrait represents that, like, new beginnings, restarting your career, and in terms of art, basically starting back from the basics of art and watercolor particularly. And this is the result. A lot of things could be improved, but as you will see later on, I definitely leveled up and changed the things that I think is good. Before we move on, I just want to acknowledge the fact that the art style that I'm trying to portray and try to imitate with this project is definitely 100% inspired by Scott Christian Sava. His art style in his journaling is a huge inspiration, and I tried to incorporate his art style to this journal. Thank you so much, Scott. You are such an amazing artist and a legend and a really, really great teacher. Thank you so much, Scott, for lending your art style. Day two is now a portrait of my direct office mate, Jasmine. She is a really bubbly and very friendly person that I appreciate so much every time I go to the office. And comparing this portrait to the first one, this time I tried to understand more and be more intentional with my values, wherein I really took time to focus and understand the deeper values that casts shadows in the different parts of the face where it's casting those shadows. At the same time, I tried to keep my mixtures a bit more pure compared now to the first sketch. The second one is what I consider a breakthrough piece because it's where I think I solidified what art style I want to go for on this journal. And this one is a portrait of my friend Patrick. We have a lot of history together, working in a same school before I moved to the same school that he is working in for the last 5 years. He's a very talented friend, and I really appreciate how he is there with me throughout this transition. He actually is one of those people who who really encouraged me to apply in the new workplace that I have in now. And then this is the drawing of Elijah. I redrew him this time with better understanding and direction to what I want out of this project, and I think this is a better representation of how he looks based on his reference photo. It's not photorealistic, but it shows a cartoonized version of him, and I'm satisfied because this piece taught me to really value as well not just the darks, but as well as the light areas of the portraits. The next two pieces, I believe, are slightly setbacks, despite them representing my workmates that I actually enjoy spending time with. But when it comes to the technicalities of painting them in watercolors, there were some things that I could have improved on, knowing the things that I know after this project. So this is Patricia, and she's absolutely amazing. And me and her really vibed when it comes to talking about our interest when it comes to rap music, particularly by Glock 9. If you're from the Philippines, he is an amazing writer, and we just geek out on his classics. This is my office head, Miss Eileen, and despite the drawing being very much of a setback piece on its own, it gave me a lot of insight with what I want out of this project now and the direction that I want to go. during the next one. And so I really apologize to Miss Eileen, but I will be improving this portrait of hers when I repaint it once again. But this time I tried to mix in more the shadows, and because of this piece, I realized that I do not want the shadows to be mixed in with purples or any deep tones, but rather I want to keep the shadows somewhere very close to the warmish family color. Wherein it brings us now to this piece from Miss K. Me and her connected because we know the same person, my thesis advisor, Sir Eric, and we just hit it off immediately because of how quirky she is and how friendly she is when it comes to working with her and interacting with her while we are in the workplace. Now, from this point on, it's more of just simply reiterating and now sharpening what I want. From the portrait of Miss K, I now have here now a portrait of Sir Nick, and I just saw this on his social media, and I just loved the pose, the figure itself, and it really makes me want to paint it. And with this painting now, I realize that the shadows can be using the burnt umber mixed in with a few of the quote-unquote brighter quinacridone gold. And this really pushed me and helped me elevate what I really want out of the drawings that I want, which is now to showcase sort of a quasi realism with a splash of cartoon, manga, and anime. And this is that kickoff point, or not kickoff point, but rather the crystallization of those skills. And next is a portrait of Sir Benji, and this is his graduation photograph that I found was actually cool to paint. And with this portrait, I also got to understand that it's great if you leave some white of the paper hanging around being unpainted, and that represents the different highlights on the points of the face of this portrait. And I absolutely wanted to improve and better myself with maintaining the white of the paper, which, as you could see here now, the high contrast in this painting of Miss Grace definitely showcases, and I try to really push the difference between the dark values and the light values. And her portrait, the reference photo that I use, absolutely captures that interest that I have. And I love also the expression and the angst that comes with this drawing, and I really love this piece, and it's something that I really am excited to give her. Next one is a portrait of Sir John, one of the first new friends that I made in the new workplace that I'm in, and he has a deeper skin tone, because and with that I try to push even my values, at the same time try to appreciate the mid tones that comes with pushing the values. And I think with this piece I was able to understand that, and I am happy with this one. Oh, it stuck a bit. Oh, this one is a portrait of Miss Jorna, and me and her are kind of like those two people that you know are in the same city, and there are different intersection points in your earlier life before you actually officially meet. We are that, like those people that you just happen to have the same connection with or go to the same place as you've been, but you were never in the right time or the right place to actually meet. And this time I think that's where our paths intertwined, and that's how I met her. And she's an absolute darling of a person. She is very bubbly, and she is also one of those people that even if you just met her, you feel comfortable being around her because she just serves as that presence. And then this one is a portrait of Sir Ryan. We used to work in the same school as that of Sir Patrick, and with this portrait of his, I tried to add more of the finer details, and some of those finer details that I try to emphasize on is the details on the ears and the teeth in the mouth. And I'm really proud of it because I think I was able to capture it, not perfectly, but the way that I think I would like it. And I'm gonna bring it closer to you, and I hope that it shows on camera. I did a more effort with painting in the teeth and the gums on this one. We're almost to the end, and here's a drawing of Miss Da, and she is one of those strong personalities, very organized and very creative. She is one of those people in school who's really good with video editing, and she is an advisor of student activities, and I really just love to capture that confidence, that silent confidence that she has, that doesn't have to scream that I'm good, but rather she has that confidence that just radiates with her as she just does her thing without having to be loud about it. And that's what I appreciate with Miss Da. And then I think now the crystallization and the end point of this 14 days was a drawing of Miss Rian. And this, I think, is where I peaked when it comes to this project, wherein I was able to incorporate all of the other things that I've learned in the other pieces and apply it now to a portrait of her, wherein there is a contrast. There is now the preservation of white spaces. There's now also playing with the forms, moving into realism, but still keeping on that caricature vibes. And I was able to capture that and even find details that would be normally lost in translation. I think I was able to capture it in this portrait, and I think this is my favorite, and technically I think this was my best as well. So as you can see here, starting from day one of this project, you could see here now that there is elevations, setbacks, a roller coasters of things that you can learn, and definitely seeing now the difference between day 1 and day 14. 14 days of drawing could actually now improve your art, and this project is something that I really would want to do again, and I would want to take on every now and then when I would be hit by that inspiration bug. And I'm just so happy to how it got me back into doing arts, and it's all thanks to Sir Elijah, of course, and his kind words to me, as well as having amazing workmates that taught me and made me feel like I belong finally. And I'm just so grateful with a lot of the great things that are happening, that are about to happen, as well as the challenges that I will be facing. And thank you guys for sticking along with the tumultuous last few months that I had when it comes to my personal life, and allowing me a avenue to share my feelings with, to share my experiences with, and my insights. And I would want to thank you for that. And now I'm celebrating not just a milestone in having almost 400 subscribers, but actually now reaching the dream job that I've always wanted, which is to be a full-time guidance counselor. And it's what I really want to do, and it's what I've always dreamed of, becoming a guidance counselor. And now it's here. But definitely, I will not be leaving the social media platform YouTube, and I will be posting every now and then. But bear with me as I try to adjust with my new workplace, with all the demands, and of course, with all the changes that will be happening. So, just to rehash, the next videos that will be coming will be very creative for me, because I'll be trying out the art supplies that I used to use when I was starting out with doing arts versus now the current art supplies that I'm using, which are the things that you see here on this table. But for now, that's it. That's the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed this chatty, just simply showing some of my paintings type of videos. And if you do, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And if you decide to work on a project similar to mine, maybe painting your workmates as well, please do tag me in the different social media platforms that I have. I'm just on Instagram, basically. Just tag me on Instagram, that's Chris Obero, and I'm going to definitely give you a like and probably reshare your work to my small followings on my social media. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your month, your year, and as always, peace. See you all next video.